Ecological taxes are vital tools that integrate economic policy with environmental preservation, addressing the twin goals of sustainable development and environmental protection. Rooted in the polluter pays principle, these taxes hold polluters accountable for the environmental costs they impose, promoting more responsible behaviors. Key examples include carbon taxes, which charge polluters based on their carbon emissions, encouraging cleaner energy use. Plastic taxes aim to reduce single-use plastics by making them more expensive, and congestion charges reduce urban traffic and air pollution. Resource extraction taxes ensure the sustainable use of natural resources by reflecting their environmental value. These taxes help generate revenue for environmental programs and incentivize the shift toward a circular economy, an economic system that prioritizes recycling, reuse, and resource efficiency. Careful design is needed to avoid economic hardship, particularly for vulnerable communities and industries, and ensure tax revenues support ecological goals. Despite challenges, the potential of environmental taxes to combat climate change and drive sustainable practices is undeniable. Their role in reshaping markets and behaviors is key to creating a more resilient and sustainable future. Environmental taxes play a transformative role in shaping sustainable societies by linking economic incentives with environmental protection. These taxes, based on the polluter pays principle, internalize the environmental costs of production and consumption, encouraging businesses and individuals to reduce pollution and conserve resources. Carbon taxes are one of the most impactful, making fossil fuels more expensive to encourage cleaner energy use and technological innovation. Taxes on plastic, water pollution, and resource extraction aim to reduce waste, promote recycling, and encourage sustainable resource use. The dual effect of these taxes is not only in reducing environmental harm, but also in generating revenue for further conservation efforts. The effectiveness of environmental taxes has been demonstrated through success stories across the globe. Sweden's carbon tax, introduced in 1991, led to a significant reduction in emissions while supporting economic growth. Ireland's plastic bag levy saw a dramatic decrease in plastic consumption, fostering a cultural shift toward sustainability. British Columbia's revenue-neutral carbon tax is another success, reducing emissions while maintaining public support through rebates. Challenges remain, including ensuring that taxes are equitable and do not disproportionately affect lower-income households. International cooperation is needed to prevent polluters from relocating to regions with weaker environmental regulations. Despite these hurdles, environmental taxes are a powerful tool in addressing pollution and resource depletion. Their continued expansion and refinement will be critical in steering global efforts toward a more sustainable future. Implementing environmental taxes is a complex but necessary journey toward addressing the global environmental crisis. These taxes are designed to reduce pollution and encourage sustainable resource use by leveraging fiscal policies, turning economic instruments into tools for environmental stewardship. However, the process of implementing such taxes is anything but straightforward. It is complicated by economic, political, and social challenges, which must be navigated carefully to ensure a balanced, equitable approach to environmental protection. One of the main hurdles is the economic impact of environmental taxes on industries heavily reliant on carbon-intensive processes or non-renewable resources. For instance, carbon taxes, plastic taxes, and other pollution-related levies can significantly increase operational costs for these industries, raising concerns about competitiveness in a global economy. Industries argue that these taxes could lead to job losses, decreased profitability, and the risk of businesses relocating to countries with looser environmental regulations, an issue commonly referred to as carbon leakage. Addressing these concerns requires carefully crafted tax policies that strike a balance between encouraging environmental sustainability and maintaining economic vitality. Singapore's Vehicle Quota System, VQS, is a pioneering approach to reducing vehicle pollution and traffic congestion. By limiting the number of vehicles through a bidding process and imposing high registration fees and fuel taxes, Singapore has effectively managed traffic and emissions. This demonstrates how targeted taxation can control resource use and environmental impact. Germany's Renewable Energy Act, EEG, supports the transition to renewable energy by guaranteeing fixed tariffs for green energy producers. encouraging investment in renewable technologies like wind and solar. The EEG has significantly reduced reliance on fossil fuels, showing the power of financial incentives in driving sustainability. These examples highlight how well-designed fiscal policies can reduce pollution, promote green innovation, and drive sustainable growth. Another complication arises from the global nature of environmental challenges. Pollution and resource depletion do not respect national borders, meaning that efforts by one country can be undermined by inaction or weaker environmental policies in others. This underscores the need for international cooperation and coordination in environmental tax policy. Harmonizing tax measures and sharing best practices on a global scale can help create a level playing field and maximize the effectiveness of these taxes in driving sustainable development worldwide. Taxation plays a pivotal role in the global shift toward renewable energy and sustainable practices. Environmental taxes, including carbon taxes, taxes on non-renewable resources, and pollution levies, are designed not only to penalize harmful activities, but also to encourage innovation and green technology. They send a clear market signal that the era of unchecked environmental damage is ending, pushing businesses and consumers alike toward more sustainable choices. As environmental taxation continues to evolve, fairness and equity must remain at the forefront of policy design. The transition to a sustainable economy will inevitably impact certain industries and communities more than others. Environmental tax policies must include mechanisms to mitigate these impacts, whether through exemptions, rebates, or retraining programs for affected workers. International cooperation will also be essential in the future of environmental taxation. Climate change and environmental degradation are global challenges that require coordinated responses. Harmonizing tax policies, sharing best practices, and supporting developing nations in their transition to sustainable economies will be critical for maximizing the impact of environmental taxes and ensuring that no region is left behind. The future of environmental taxation holds immense promise. By leveraging taxes to promote renewable energy, encourage sustainable practices, and mitigate the environmental impacts of industrial activity, societies can make significant strides toward a sustainable future. With thoughtful design, international cooperation, and a focus on fairness, environmental taxes can be a cornerstone in the fight against climate change and the transition to a more sustainable, resilient world.